This is Closereads.
A philosophy podcast with Mark and Wes.
I'm Wes Alwan.
And I'm Mark Linsenmeyer. Well, hello. We are going to do some ancient Egyptian philosophy. This is a topic that we are covering on the Partially Examined Life episode 379, which is not going to be out because 378 hits 3 parts for at least another week after folks hear this. And we don't get around to this reading, the dispute between a man and his ba, until, the last 15 minutes of the second half of our discussion. It did not get the attention it deserved. So we felt like maybe we should do this on Close Reads, just read it straight through. It's not that long. We're using this Miriam Lichtheim translation, which is PDF page. What was it? I've lost the screen.
90.
Here. Page 90. This is a weirdly scanned version with a couple of different with two pages showing up per screen. Things are at a strange angle, but that's what's available for you folks, so you can follow along with us. Any introductory words before we get into it from you?
No.
Okay. People can should subscribe directly to this podcast. If you're just hearing this on the PEL Citizen feed, for instance, or I don't know, maybe we'll put it on the public PEL feed eventually to be a part 3 to the episode. And you should, so it's closereadsphilosophy.com or patreon.com/closereadsphilosophy is the way we prefer you to get it. You'll have no ads there. But in any case, it would be nice if you would go to the public location of this and give us a nice rating and review. Let's get going. So we should say the beginning of this is destroyed, right? So this is the setup. It's a man talking to his ba, which is part of his soul. We talk a little bit on the episode about what the metaphysics of the soul is, that there's multiple parts, and this is the part that you get together with. It's supposed to help you in the afterlife. I don't think that the details of that matter so much unless you remember more than I do about that, Wes.
Yeah, I mean, there's I was associating it with personal identity because it's the part of you that survives. Well, I guess multiple parts of you survive in the afterlife, but it seemed to be the part that was associated with your personal persistence in the afterlife. So for instance, what are some of the other different parts? The cat, physical body, Ren, the name or identity. The Ba is translated as the personality. Ka is like vital essence. So this idea, yeah. So what I take from personality is that there's something personal about it, which would make sense because the afterlife ceases. No one would be interested in it if we couldn't survive personally.
Yes, I know it's the ka is the one that needs nourishment when you are in the grave. So you put food in with the body so the ka can eat. But I guess the ba comes and unites with the ka, and it becomes, this helps you in the afterlife. That's as much as I remember the story. I don't think I actually learned any more than that. And I don't think it matters here because the point
they were not minimalists.
Yes, he's trying to determine. Well, this is what the main dispute about is. This guy is as we start here, is tired of life, and his maybe wants to die sooner rather than later, and his ba is trying to convince him otherwise. But we don't have the beginning of the dialogue, so the ba has some things to say. In order to say their tongue, in brackets, I don't know why that's is not partial payment. Their tongue is not partial. That's all we know. It's as if the sputtering from a dying creature, but it's there are just gaps in the text. So here is the part where the text as we know it, preserved only in one manuscript, actually starts. Please go, Wes.
I opened my mouth to my ba to answer what it had said. This is too great for me today. My ba will not converse with me. It is too great for exaggeration. It is like deserting me. It is like my ba shall not go. It shall attend to me in this. And then dot dot dot. Some things been cut out. In my body with a net of cord. It shall not be able to flee on the day of pain. Look, my ba misleads me. I do not listen to it. Drags me towards death before I come to it. Casts me on fire so as to burn me. Um, yeah, what does any of this mean so
Well,
far?
so far I can only interpret it based on what I already understand it to mean. Were I really coming to this fresh, like we do in most close reads texts, I would have no idea
Of course, yeah.
narratively what is going on here. Um, it is this is too great for me today. My Ba will not converse with me. Well, his Ba has been conversing with him, but it's like, oh, you just aren't. You don't really see me. You don't see my point of view. Later. He's going to say, I feel so lonely, but he's been having this conversation. Uh, it is deserting him by disagreeing with him. But it
I
shall
don't
not
know.
go. It shall attend me in this. Come on, come on. Let's get on the same page here. I mean, is that it's the best I can do.
I suppose so, yeah. I don't know what it drags me toward death before I come to it.
Yeah.
And
So the second
he's the one
half,
who's trying to kill himself. Huh?
it shall not be able to flee on the day of pain. So is the day of pain when he will die, or is the day of pain right now when he's bitching about stuff and it seems like his Ba doesn't want to
Well, I was
indulge
thinking
him
the
in his
day of pain would
complaining.
be death
I would
because
assume.
the upshot part of what the ba is going to say in this is that it won't go with him or it won't um what is it? It won't it's not agreeing to the suicide and it's I think it's the idea is that he won't persist in the ba, that he will just perish forever. There will be no afterlife for him, which seems to be associated with the ba fleeing. Um so I do not listen to it. And so my ba misleads me. I do not listen to it. Drags me toward death before I come to it. Cast me on fire so as to burn me.
Again,
It's a
from the
little
context, what I understood is that he wants to have a death that is honorable and has all the rights and that has immortality. Uh, and he wants to just, basically have assisted suicide, some way that he can make this happen sooner rather than later. And the Ba, perhaps in this missing portion, is like, well, if you're going to be like that, screw you. I'm just going to leave right now, and you're just going to die forever and for real, and not have any of the funeral rites, and not have an afterlife, because I won't come back to you uh, in the afterlife. I will instead, you'll simply burn. So it is a question between death on his terms, which he would like, but yet have everybody in society, all the gods support him in that verse, make that his natural but chosen death, versus this thing that'll just happen just because, as sort of as a punishment for his being ungrateful for his life. That is not the kind of death that he wants, but still drags me toward death before I come to it. Like, if it sounds like I'm describing two different types of death: a complete annihilating death, which is what he doesn't want, and an afterlife death. And just the fact that the boss maybe gonna be sick of him and make it happen sooner. Well, it's not the it is not the same thing. So I still don't really understand this line.
yeah. All right,
Let's
that's a
just
good that's a reasonable speculation. Yeah, you want to continue?
it shall be near me on the day of pain. So this is the ba. It shall stand on that side as does a something. It is he who comes forth. He has brought himself. My ba, too ignorant to still pain in life, leads me toward death before I come to it. Sweeten the west for me. Is that difficult? Life is a passage, trees fall. Tread on the evil, put down my misery. May Thoth judge me who appeases the gods. May Khans defend me, he who writes truly. May Re hear my speech, he who calms the sunbark. May Isdes defend me in the sacred hall. For my suffering is too heavy a burden to be borne by me. May it please me. May it please that the gods repel my body's secrets.
Um, yeah, it's interesting that the what's sunbark and why does it need to be calmed? Is it a? It's not bark on a tree, is it? Is it a boat? May
Will
Thoth judge me.
solar barks were vessels used by the sun god Ra in ancient Egyptian mythology.
Okay,
The mythical solar bark, the ancient Egyptian sun god, carried him across the sky and through the underworld.
okay, all right. So he's appealing to various gods here. Sweeten the West for me. I think the right going to the West is part of dying. So the Ba would go to the West, right? You compared this in our episode to the elves in Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
So he should I sweeten the West for me. I guess the yeah, why does it need to be sweetened exactly?
Yeah, I mean, because if the question is, do you get to go there or not? I mean, and it seems like what he's asking his Ba is, at least in part, to indulge him in his complaining and too ignorant to still pain in life. So help me still the pain that I have right now, at the very least by listening to me and being on the same page with me and being my companion, but preferably by helping me, do this assisted suicide. Assist me in the suicide, Ba. Sweeten the West, make it. But yeah, it doesn't quite work because it's not like the afterlife is going to be. It doesn't seem like
Better
the
or
metaphysics that it'll
worse?
be like heaven will be better. Hey God, please make heaven better for me.
Mm-hmm.
Make up a bed just for me. It's gonna be paradise. Well, I mean, maybe we just don't understand what the West involves.
Too ignorant to still pain in life. But he's, was he asking the Ba to soothe him in life? I mean, he's asking for death, so it's a little confusing there as well. Life is a passage, trees fall, so that makes sense. He's, death is no big deal. Um, and I guess this is part of the argument to the Ba. It's not a big deal to die, it's just part of the natural cycle of things.
Yep.
Put down my misery. I mean, you know, did he give the Ba a gun and say, shoot me? How does, what is the Ba's role in this suicide? He's the one who has to do it.
I mean, I guess you need to get a cosigner.
Get your soul on board. Need to get my soul on board with this.
Yeah. What was it? Is it really a an active possibility that, well, if you don't die the right way, then your Ba is gonna do this. It's gonna refuse to take you to the afterlife appropriately.
I mean, I think that is the upshot. That's the threat. The threat here that the Ba isn't going to perform its usual function
Mm-hmm.
if he does this.
We just don't know if that this is something sort of originated in this text as a brilliant literary image, or it was like something mamas would tell their kids, don't you watch out. You got to get your Ba on board with probably
get
the
your
former.
get your Ba right.
Uh,
Um,
let's go
may
ahead.
it please the gods repel my body's secrets.
Mm.
All right, that's another weird line. Repel my body's secrets.
May it please that the gods
Yeah.
repel my body's secrets because his suffering is too heavy a burden. Well, too heavy a burden to be borne by me is in weird looking brackets. So I'm not
Yeah.
sure what that means in terms of the. Does that mean that wasn't actually there? It's a pretty long phrase to for the translator to. Suffering is something, and I think maybe it says this. I just don't really know what this means.
They may just be unsure of the translation. Yeah, I don't know what repel my body's secrets means exactly, but maybe we'll get some insight on it as we go forward. What my boss said to me: "Are you not a man? Are you not alive? What do you gain by complaining about life like a man of wealth?" Those softies, those men of wealth. I said, "I will not go." Okay, so now he's responding to the Ba. "I will not go as long as this is neglected. Surely, if you run away, you will not be cared for." No, this is the Ba still speaking,
No, no,
right?
no, no. This is me talking to the Ba
Okay. Uh,
because the Ba wants to run away
yes, right.
out of
Okay.
disgust.
Okay. Every criminal says, "I shall seize you. Though you are dead, your name lives. Yonder is the place of the heart's goal. The
The place
west
of
is a
rest.
dwelling." Huh?
The place of rest.
Ah, is a place of rest, the heart's goal. The west is a dwelling place, a voyage. Um,
Something that they couldn't read.
if my Ba listens to me without malice, its heart in accord with me, it shall be happy. I shall make it reach the west like no one who is
Like
like one
one.
who is in his tomb, um, whose burial a survivor tends. I shall make a shelter over your corpse, so that you will make envious another Ba in weariness. You will make envious another Ba in weariness. I shall make a shelter; it shall not be freezing, so that you will make envious another Ba which is hot. I shall drink water at the pond over which I made shade, so that you will make envious another Ba that hungers. Um,
Yeah, finish it up.
but if you lead me toward death in this manner, you will not find a place on which to rest in the West. Be patient, my Ba, my brother, until my heir comes, one who will make offerings, who will stand at the tomb on the day of burial, having prepared the bier of the graveyard.
Yeah, so there's nothing so far in everything we've read that would indicate that this guy is contemplating suicide himself.
Except for the "my suffering is too heavy a burden to be
Sure.
borne by me," but the "too heavy a burden" might be interpolated by the
Right, right.
translators. But yeah,
The
this
thing
does
in
not look.
brackets.
This looks quite the opposite in a way. It looks like the manifest content of this so far is that the Ba is trying to drag him off to death, and he doesn't want to go yet.
But the Ba at the beginning of what you read, the Ba said to me, "Are you not a man? Are you not alive? What do you gain by complaining about life like a man of wealth?" So okay, he's certainly complaining, but what is his solution? We know just because this is what the summary says that he wants to die. But as you just said, it doesn't.
Like
And
he's
and
telling the Ba, if you run
mhm.
away, you won't be cared for. Um, and we should wait until there's a my heir comes who to make offerings.
Yeah, how long is that? Is the heir
Yeah,
a child? Is the heir even born yet? Is he met somebody yet? Does,
I shall make it reach the west like one who's in his tomb, whose burial a survivor tends, which suggests a more normal death and not. I shall make a shelter over your corpse, which is a weird. So now he's acting as if the Ba has a body, right? When he's supposed to be speaking to his soul. And make you envious, make envious another Ba. So he's promising to set the Ba up in nice digs. But how does he have control over that?
I shall drink water at the pond over which I made shade. So you will make envy as another ba that hungers. So you're going to be sitting in my body. You're going to be part of my corpse. We're going to be together if you come with me upon death, as is the norm. Um, and I think part of this was, I know you've been saying the ba is the personality, and that is the translation if you just look it up on the internet. But the way that this was described by the Philosophy Without Any Gaps guys is that the ba is not something normally that is around when you're alive. Like that's the ka, the life force. I don't know about these other parts. It's that the ba has this function of joining you upon death. And again, I'm just exceeding the limits of my knowledge here. Uh, but in any case, yeah. So we can say that there are physical benefits to the ba at least after death. Maybe not now. The ba is external. It's a little birdie flying around that he's talking to. It is not in him, even though it apparently is his personal identity. I can't square those two things.
Hmm. Um. Uh. Anyway, he's gonna make his ba happy, making it reach the west like like one who's in his tomb. It's like the ba is being compared to the dead person. Um.
Yeah,
So if we take if we take your interpretation here, where the ba is almost like a companion after death, and yeah, I don't know the mythology fully. So is there some other part of me that's going along with the ba? But that would make sense here. If the ba is like a companion to the afterlife, then it would make sense to start comparing the ba to a person. And it would be very interesting, literarily quite interesting for him to do this. It's as if the ba is just another person like him who could die, who could have a corpse, who could be envied. It's almost like there's a community of Bas and they're like people. Um, so I shall make it reach the west like one who's in his tomb. He's comparing the kind of spiritual fate of the Ba going to the west, like the earthly fate of one who's in his tomb with a survivor tending him. I shall make a shelter over your corpse. Right. So we get this image now of a Ba as a person who's died, and other people, quote unquote, other Bas in this Ba community are getting envious because he's giving him such good funeral digs, such good funeral ceremonies, and maybe a monument or whatever, a mausoleum, or hey, a pyramid. So, hey, Ba, uh, I'll put you in the equivalent of a pyramid uh, if you do what I say.
as opposed to if you run away, you will not be cared for. Every criminal says, "I shall seize you." So is that an active black market that I can buy some seized bas from other people? What would I do with them? Do can I collect bas?
Yeah, I mean, it's like going out into going on the road alone and there's bandits everywhere. The Ba can't take care of itself, I guess.
I mean, it can fly. So
Yeah, you think with the criminals would have trouble with that. But yeah, the upshot of this is we know the Ba is a spirit of some kind, but so this is one big metaphor where he's treating the Ba if he was just a person.
sure.
All of it implies that. So yeah, we should take all of this metaphorically.
So I'm puzzled
Um,
by the syntax at the beginning, though. Putting aside the boss stuff, the Are you not a man? Are you not alive? What do you gain by complaining about life like a man of wealth? Okay, you gave an interpretation of that. You're being all soft. And my response to that as the person is I will not go as long as this is neglected. What is the this? Is the this that I need an heir? Is that what the ba was saying? It seems a non sequitur.
Yeah, I mean that's a good question. What is being neglected? Um, and the Ba is the one trying to run away. Well, that makes sense, right? If the Ba is going to leave him, the Ba won't be his companion if he commits
Mm-hmm.
suicide. Um, I will not go as long as this is neglected. So, I mean, I will not go. I will not kill myself as long as you won't agree to come with me. It could mean that.
I'm waiting for your sign off, or
Mm,
to be this. I'm waiting for his heir. I don't think that means my heir is not born yet or my heir is a little child. It's like my heir is at home. I'll at least wait for him to show up and do the funeral rites. Not that this is going to be years because he's contemplating suicide now, not
mm.
4 years from now. Oh, the ba is disgusted with me for engaging on my 4 year suicide plan. Like my ba.
Um,
Should I just go ahead, or do you have something else?
yeah, go ahead.
My ba opened its mouth to me to answer what I had said. If you think of burial, it is a heartbreak. It is the gift of tears by a grieving a man. It is the taking of a man from his house, casting him on high ground. You will not go up to see the sun. Those who built in granite, who erected halls and excellent tombs of excellent construction, when the builders have become gods, their offering stones are desolate, as if they were the dead who died on the riverbank for a lack of a survivor. The flood takes its toll, the sun also. The fishes at the water's edge talk to them. Listen to me. It is good for people to listen. Follow the feast day. Forget worry.
All
This all
right.
sounds very good as poetry, but like poetry, I don't really know what I'm talking about. When I read poetry, it just sounds nice. It's very hard for me to, I need more poetry practice.
Um, burial is a heartbreak
Sure.
because I guess um, well, it is a direct response to what he's just said. Um, stand at the tomb on the day of the burial, having prepared the bier of the grave. Well, he's talking about the air. Um, but he's been promising the Ba a good burial, metaphorically. Uh, if you think of burial, it is heartbreak. In a way, this seems to be two responding to two things at once, right? Burial is a heartbreak, so it's not something you can bribe me with. But also in your case, it's not what you should be seeking. It's
Right.
a gift of tears, and the part of the point here is that look, all these monuments that you build in granite, to be remembered, they're not effective. The offering stones are desolate. It's the same as the person who dies on the riverbank with no one to remember him, no survivors.
Dead is dead.
The flood takes its toll, the sun also, which, right, suggests that, no matter how big the monuments are, they're going to be weathered away to nothingness eventually. Little did he know, thousands of years later we would find them. He's the Ba is not right about this. The fishes at the water's edge talk to them. I mean, I take that to be right. The one who dies at the riverbank getting nibbled at by fishes.
I mean,
Uh,
talking sounds nicer than nibbling. I'm not.
yeah, I mean, I think talking might be a metaphor, but even if it's talking, it's not right. The fish aren't the greatest of companions, but uh, so anyway, so why? But what is the point of all this, right? The part of the religion is that they will be remembered, and these monuments help with that memory. The the Ba is saying actually it's all a bunch of bunk. Building these pyramids or other monuments, they don't. help with your memory. You will be forgotten no matter what because of the toll time takes on these things.
Yeah. So one of the
Uh,
overall interpretations of the dialogue is that it is grasping with just two different cultural uh, sentiments about death. One is that it is ultimately a good. It is natural. It is you can do it with honor. You'll go to the afterlife. And the other one is just our fear of death. Like no, it's actually terrible. It's you don't nobody wants to die. So I think anybody that has a notion of a pleasant afterlife is going to face this conflict in their thought that if it's so great in heaven, why don't we all just go there right now? And then you
but the
say that they
yeah,
no, if you say that you are insane, you can't want to do that.
but the ba is the very thing that's supposed to be accompanying us to heaven.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a weird argument for it to make, right? It's already showed up, so we know if the ba showed up, we that implies that the mythology is correct, right? It's good evidence, um, and that uh, in the normal course of things, he should be carried off to heaven. So, um, in that case, death would be a good thing, regardless of memory, regardless of whether one is remembered. Going into the West should be sweet, should be a
Yeah,
good
and in
thing.
fact, by saying that, well, and do you only get to go to the West if you had nice funerary rites? It seems like those are separate goods. You want to be remembered, you want to have nice digs, but even the good man, at least, who dies on the unmourned on the edge of the riverbank, eaten by crocodiles, the fishes talk to him. Even that person gets to go to heaven, at least according to the afterlife mythology that I'm familiar with. Maybe this is different. It
All
should
right.
be. It is the great leveler. Um, all right. Well, go ahead with the next one there.
A man plowed his plot. He loaded his harvest into a boat. He towed the freight. As his feast day approached, he saw rising the darkness of a north wind. Watching in the boat as the sun went down, he came out with his wife and children and foundered on the lake, infested at night with crocodiles. When at last he sat down, he broke out saying, I do not weep for that mother, for whom there is no coming from the west for another being on earth. I grieve for her children broken in the egg, who have seen the face of the crocodile before they have lived. It's a pretty good line. Seen the face of the crocodile before having lived. Um, so the Ba is telling a little story now about lack of commemoration, lack of memory. Um, so the man is he came out with his wife and children. Sounds like he lives through it, and his wife and children die.
Yes, because he's
And then
talking at the end.
he says, "I don't weep for the wife. I weep for my children because they didn't get to have a life." Um,
Yeah. So if heaven were so great, if death were so great, then getting children right to it. That's what you. So
mhm.
if you're pro-abortion, and people are saying, it's like you believe that those unborn babies go straight to heaven, right? I mean, and heaven is way better than this flawed existence on Earth. So wouldn't you want as many kids aborted as possible? You
That's
just
your
want
golden
it.
ticket, man. You don't have time to sin. You don't have time to become a huge asshole. You don't have time to become all the things that life makes you. So, yeah, golden
Clearly,
ticket
we
to the
we don't
big
think
chocolate
that.
factory in the sky, huh?
Yeah, but clearly we don't think that. We want people to live their whole lives, and just so you too, the Ba is telling the man, should live your whole life, follow the feast day, don't worry, just wring as much out of this life as you can. um what I mean, it seems like the woman probably still had a few good years in her. So I'm not sure why he's not the man in the story is not sad about his wife that
Yeah, it's
he's
pretty
just not going to
harsh.
weep.
You know,
I'm not going to weep for that mother because she's kind of a bitch. We weren't getting along. Like,
I mean, it's also the
what's the
opposite.
subtext?
Opposite generally of what's true, right? We uh, people have more because he's known her for longer and can be more attached to her. I think the ordinary thing would be for it's not that people don't grieve miscarriages. They do, but I don't think it's as harsh as grieving a loved one that you've known for years and who has a personality and who, unlike fetuses, and whom you've gotten to know. Uh, so that's an interesting inversion if you think about it. It's not really the way grief works. It's a bunch of BS.
Does it prove the Ba's point that life is good, death is bad? It seems like there's some distracting elements in there about you should weep for all of them. Life was good. It was cut short for them.
Yeah.
A man asked. So here's the second little story. A man asked for an early meal. His wife said, "It is for supper." He went outside to, and as this translator just puts a dot dot dot, but our guest informed us that it was to relieve himself. He went outside to relieve himself for a while. When he came back to the house, he was like another person. His wife beseeches him, and he does not listen to her. He relieves himself, heedless of the household. Okay, so that's the whole second story. I know we discussed this a little in the main episode. Is it any more clear this time? It's very short.
He goes out to relieve himself. He comes back in. He's just like another person. He's so relieved, I guess. Just so chill. So chill that he just doesn't even pay attention to his wife. He's in the zone, man. He is just blissing out on not having a full bladder.
Well, he does
Um,
not listen to her. He's I think he's become hardened. I mean, my
yeah, I know.
interpretation of
I'm
this the
just
first
kidding. I
time,
mean, yeah.
right, was the he asked for an early meal, just like the man the boss is talking to is asking for an an early death, but not as early as the ba is threatening. We have immediate ba leaving you death forever. We have what the man actually wants, and then we have let's nature take its course, and you're going to live a number of years longer enjoying things, and then the ba will show up when he's supposed to, and everything will. Okay, so the man has asked to die early, to eat early, and his wife says no. Uh, so what is the is it that the translator felt okay leaving out the relieving yourself just because not just because she was prudish but because it doesn't matter for the story that the fact is that he's been spurned in his request and now he's just going to become a dick and he's not going to listen to his wife anymore. He's like another person. He's heedless of his household. And so the boss is saying, don't do that. Don't. Yeah.
Well, the wife, yeah, the wife is in the position of the ba right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
He wants to go early. She says, no, that's for later. He presumably, whatever he does when he's outdoors, he seems to be ruminating on being denied
Mm-hmm.
what he wants, and then comes back into the house and is behaving and is being grumpy. And then, so his wife beseeches him and he does not listen to her. It's like the ba beseeching this man and him not listening to the ba.
But he was complaining about the boss not listening to him, like
Right.
that.
And he is heedless of the household. So it's like it's interesting that the ba is putting them in like a husband and wife scenario. Um, that is quite interesting. He heedless of the household, so that his refusal, his desire to die early by suicide, in a way, it's like a man not fulfilling his household responsibilities which include letting the wife run the domestic scene. That's her role, that's her responsibility, and she says when supper is, and that's the schedule, and that's not his role to say when supper is. So in the same way, the ba is the homemaker, and you follow the ba's lead in the homemaking things. Whatever he does out in the world, right? Maybe he's a bigwig with an administrative job in the court or whatever. And then, yeah, in that domain, he runs things. In this domain, the ba runs things.
Seems like I feel like I'm on a subtext episode. You feel like this narrative would be, you guys talk about poetry, you talk about narrative. Do
I
you
mean,
feel like
does my interpretation make sense?
no, it
Is
totally
that
does.
okay?
It totally does.
Okay. All right.
But I'm just, we haven't really addressed the is any of this philosophy or is this just kind of a interesting interpretive puzzle? And of course, we're not even bringing the big guns to this. Like, there's so much literature on this that if we were sort of being scholarly, responsible scholars, we would read 10 different interpretations of this. And then we would have much more to say about each and every line here that we're hitting, as opposed to just what we think we can guess. But, like, what were those people using? I mean, at most, they had more accurate information on the translation so they could think more clearly about what this particular line means based on what this Egyptian character means. So I don't know that we're in I'm sure that gives you some advantage, but and there's no footnotes in this one at all. Our lick time says, look, this has been written on so much, I could either just bury you in footnotes or I could give you none. So I'm going to give you none. So maybe
Yeah.
not. We could have read the other translation anyway. But
Yeah. I don't know. It's religious. I don't know how to evaluate the literary quality. Obviously, right? It's not something that's well crafted and poetic in the way that Shakespeare or W.B. Yeats is well crafted and poetic. Now, maybe in the context of the times, someone reads this and thinks, "Wow, what a poet this guy is." Um, I don't know, but so I don't. I yeah, it's literature in the broad sense of being something that's written at the time, which is of importance for understanding the culture and understanding the religion. And like anything, it can be interpreted, whether or not it's written by a brilliant poet. It doesn't have to be written by a brilliant poet to be um, to be capable of being interpreted in ways that are really interesting. You can find some really interesting ideas in virtually anything you want to interpret. But and then the question is, yeah, does what we can interpret from it, is there a philosophical thesis in there, or can we use it to associate to some thesis or to some argument about a philosophical topic? In this case, I don't think there's directly a philosophical topic in a text that talks about whether or not the afterlife is worth going early to or sticking around. I mean, you could say, the closest thing to this would be Epicurus, and the claim, right, by someone like Epicurus that death cannot be a bad thing because there's no one around to experience death. That's a straightforward philosophical claim about
yeah,
almost like a metaphysical question about yeah. So it involves a kind of theological or philosophical assumption, which is that there's no soul that survives, or maybe it doesn't. Maybe it's neutral in that question. But in any case, you get what I mean. The thing is, we can ask adjacent philosophical questions to this, and it can lead to interesting philosophical discussion. But I wouldn't call this straightforwardly philosophical. It's not even theological. I mean, it there's not a debate here about the status of the soul, for instance. There's not a debate here that I think we would, or a thesis that we would call theological But again, it could be adjacent to the theological if it makes us think, oh, is there a Ba or something like that. But
The example that's often given for, the kind of thing that Descartes was trying to dismiss as mere theological pseudo philosophy was how many angels can dance on the head of a pin.
hmm.
And I believe at some point I heard, I have no idea where, it was probably during grad school, that somebody actually gave a little defense of like why this could be an interesting question. And we saw a little bit in our recent Aquinas reading of the role that angels could play. And, this sort of comes out of Plato's Timaeus and talking about the demiurge. And, that if you have this sort of fantastical physics, then uh, you have to talk about how the different levels of metaphysical organization communicate with each other. Well, let's use the eros in the case of our Ficino slash symposium. We have some thing that travels between the earthly and the heavenly, and so this is a role for angels. And so, are they? If you want to say they're not physical, well, then you have to give a whole discussion of like what the physics, what the mechanics of non-physical entities are. And even though I don't believe that in the Cartesian sense that there are non-physical entities, I'm obviously willing to admit different kinds of property dualism or things like that. I'm still fascinated by how people work out these crazy ass systems, like because they're not dumb and they believe, so what does Aquinas, for instance, have to say about the mechanics? Yeah, so actually, how many, if you think an angel is a thing in your system, and you don't have to, you could say, oh well, it's just mythology that personifies them and makes them wearing robes. It's the same thing that you can get a sort of philosophical respectable version of God. It doesn't have to be a man sitting on a throne with a beard. Like, so real angels would not be beings at all. Like they would be cosmic forces that we are somehow interpreting in the personification way that we do. um yeah, so this could be a
Well,
realistic thing, and it's the same here. Is once you've set up this mythology which we don't understand, so that makes it less satisfying. But it does make me kind of want to learn more about this. And uh, yeah, this is the fact that there's a loophole in your system that, like, well, normally when you die you go to heaven, but sometimes, it's just like the mechanics of purgatory. Just that these different religious systems come up with.
yeah, I think this is a good comparison. I mean, I think with angels, I think it is important to the theology that they be individual personalities with their own intelligence.
Yes.
They're in this weird middle realm, which you could call it weird, but it's weird God would create people as well, right? So so the community of angels, it's a spiritual, it's a community of spirits. So there's that social psychosocial element to it, but it's non-physical. So then the question is, why do you need to go farther than that? Why do you need creation of a corporeal world beyond this world? You've already got the substance of, right. Human beings have free will, and they're like God. They're partly divine, and they're partly creatures. Well, angels in a way are kind of like that. It's just that they're not physical. But um, I think Milton kind of makes a lot of this in Paradise Lost, where the suggestion seems to be that the whole point is that people creation requires creating an instinctual life and desire, including physical desire, sexual desire, so that the creation is not complete until we get to that point, until we get to these physically embodied beings. But yeah, I like your point. Angels are these weird hybrid creatures, and they are also messengers between heaven and earth. And so we could think
Hmm.
of a Ba as like an angel. And as such, we could think of him talking to the Ba as if, like he's like Clarence in It's a Wonderful Life, right?
Hmm.
And because it's the same situation where he's being prevented from committing suicide. This is like the earliest version of It's a Wonderful Life.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, comedies exploit the the hybridity of angels is well exploited by comedies because it's weird to have these like people walking around with wings and they're kind of like people, but they're also just up in heaven. I mean, what are they? So, and
Do
that's
they
kind of
eat
very
angel
funny.
food cake? What do they? Do they have angel poop?
Right. And so yeah, it's very funny when you take it more literally, but um yeah, so I like this, yeah, I like this comparison of the Ba to a kind of angel because that in a way the Ba is like a messenger, a companion to take us into the afterlife.
All right, let's read these last. So there's three poems that the whole thing ends with, which is the man responding to the Ba. So the first one, he's saying, "Lo, my name reeks. Lo, more than carrion smell on summer days of burning sky. Lo, my name reeks. Lo, more than a catch of fish on fishing days of burning sky. Lo, my name reeks. Lo, more than ducks smell, more than reed covers full of waterfowl. Lo, my name reeks. Lo, more than fishermen smell, more than the marsh pools where they fish. Lo, my name reeks. Lo, more than crocodiles smell, more than a shore sight full of crocodiles. Lo, my name reeks. Lo, more than that of a wife about whom lies are told to the husband. Lo, my name reeks. Lo, more than that of a sturdy child who is said to belong to one who rejects him. Lo, my name reeks. Lo, more than a king's town that utters sedition behind his back."
So it seems like my name reeks. That's something to do with reputation, right? That
One would
he's yeah.
imagine, but there's no context that would confirm that.
And then we get all these comparisons. Well, at first to like these aquatic creatures smelling, or the fishermen who are fishing them. So something that's rotting. It sounds like, although crocodiles smell, not necessarily dead animals. And then he moves to these different examples of a wife and a child. You know, a wife who's being libeled essentially or slandered.
That gives
A
support to it actually being literally the name. That maybe the
Yeah.
reason he's upset is not because he's upset because his reputation is bad, not just because he's frustrated. Like the source of his frustration is, his business is gone under. People are nobody likes him. It's not just a personal, like well, I'm trying to look back at It's a Wonderful Life. Uh, he still had people that loved him. Yes, people. He was also on the run from people that thought he stole this money and gave it to
Oh,
a harlot. Yeah, so his
his
name
name
reek a little
reeked.
bit,
Yeah.
but he doesn't actually
Yeah.
talk about that and how whether that is fixable.
And this is yeah, I mean and I think this is a big reason why people commit suicide. They've been shamed in some way.
Hmm.
Um so his name is yeah, his name reeks like a wife who's been slandered, like a child who's being rejected, presumably because the person thinks it's not his child. I'm not sure, but
Mm.
um, the king that's being slandered. Yeah. Okay, so now we know why, for the first time, why this guy's so upset. All right, shall I read two?
Yes, read the second one.
To whom shall I speak today? Brothers are mean, the friends of today do not love. To whom shall I speak today? Hearts are greedy, everyone robs his comrade's goods. To whom shall I speak today? Kindness has perished, insolence assaults everyone. To whom shall I speak today? One is content with evil, goodness is cast to the ground everywhere. To whom shall I speak today? He who should enrage men by his crimes, he makes everyone laugh at his evil doing. To whom shall I speak today? Yeah.
It's just I didn't realize Trump would intrude on this dialogue here.
Right. To whom shall I speak today? Men plunder, everyone robs his comrade. Shall I just leave out that line? The criminal is one's intimate. The brother with whom one dealt is a foe. The past is not remembered. Now one does not help him who helped. Brothers mean. One goes to strangers for affection. Faces are blank. Everyone turns his face from his brother's. Hearts are greedy. No man's heart can be relied on. None are righteous. The land is left to evildoers. Okay. Um,
We're almost
sorry.
read the there's four more.
One lacks an intimate. One resorts to an unknown to complain. No one is cheerful. He with whom one walked is no more. I am burdened with grief for lack of an intimate. Wrong roams the earth and ends not. So, yeah, each of those couplets is preceded by To whom shall I speak today? I think I improved it by leaving those out.
Yes.
Um,
I mean, it sounds more like a song when you have it in there, but other than that, yes.
the so society is going to crap.
And I personally don't have, I don't have anybody to talk to. Of course, he's
Yeah,
talking to his
that's
Bob, but I guess that doesn't count.
yeah. Um, yeah, there's no one to speak to. Because people suck, basically. People suck, so there's no one to speak to. One lacks an intimate. I think that's the key line there is he's friendless. All right, you want to read the
So, all
last one?
right. So we have two motivations for why he wants to kill himself. The third one, death is before me today. A sick man's recovery, like going outdoors after confinement. Death is before me today, like the fragrance of myrrh, like sitting under sail on a breeze day. I will again skip the first line, each one of these. Like the fragrance of lotus, like sitting on the shores of drunkenness, like a well trodden way, like a man's coming home from warfare, like the clearing of the sky. That's when a man discovers what he ignored, like a man's longing to see his home when he spent years in captivity.
Death is before me today, like a sick man's recovery, like going outdoors after confinement. So so death is going to be a relief,
Yeah.
but it's interesting, right? So this is from a literary standpoint an interesting analogy. Death is like a sick man's recovery.
And it's easy, it's a well trodden way. Everybody does this.
Yeah.
It's just coming home.
Um, coming home and discovering what one has ignored, the undiscovered country. Um,
I mean, I don't really understand that. If man discovers what he ignored. Uh, like I ignored the fact that uh, he in It's a Wonderful Life. He ignored the fact that his family loves him, that his community actually loves him. I mean, I know it's just an analogy here, but
well, I think there's a lot that we you know could take it as a reference to the unconscious, but there's we're kind of not fully in touch with reality. There's a lot we don't know. There's a lot we miss. There's a lot we can't see until
mm-hmm.
we die. And so there's an epistemic gain to death, which is not right. That's not special to this mythology. I think it's common. The idea that finally we will know various things that we cannot know here on earth when we die.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that's the way it works with. I mean, if it's that you get to be cozy in a nice tomb and well regarded, if you actually it's the same thing as the veil of illusion rises and you see everything as it truly is and you transcend space and time. I don't know if that goes with.
Or they might just put a Kindle in the tomb with you and you can with all the books that have ever been written, which aren't that many at this point. You don't even need a Kindle. They could just throw a few scrolls in there. But
Yeah, the fact that Akhenaten, uh, uh, as we discussed in the main episode, wanted to erase all mentions of uh, gods other than Aten, and the fact that this was possible. Like there's just these 14 inscription. Just go scribble out that, how much you think if somebody decided that now, right? If you wanted to have a 1984 style, uh, I mean, I guess once everything is digital, then you just change it in one place. You do a find and replace. That's much easier. But for now, there's a lot of books you'd have to search out and burn or edit or. Let's finish this up. So it's this poem 4. Truly, he who is yonder will be a living God, punishing the evildoer's crime. Truly, he who is yonder will stand in the sun bark, making its bounty flow to the temples. Truly, he who is yonder will be a wise man, not barred from appealing to Re when he speaks. Uh, yeah, okay. So why he wants to? Uh, we're just adding more pieces to the potential mythology of what it's going to be like in the West yonder.
Yeah, he'll be a living god, so now it's getting quite grandiose. He'll be a wise man, which kind of goes with discovering what he's ignored. He's going to be a benefactor, making bounty flow to the temples. I don't. Right, yeah, this is something we don't know the mythology well enough to know if this idea of becoming a living god is ordinary, is consistent with the mythology, or if this is just his kind of crazy fantasy.
And what the status of this person is, such that, like, does everybody, is this a thing that you say to the poor, in heaven you'll get to be rich too, in fact everybody will be rich, and then like some smart ass economist comes along and like, that's not actually, you can't have everybody rich, like then there's no, I mean it's just communism or something, you can't the property ceases to have meaning, you can't, everybody gets to be in charge and put other people down when there is no other people to put down because they're all what
Hmm.
evildoers are you punishing when you're in heaven? How did those evildoers get to heaven so you could punish them?
Yeah, you could just persecute everyone on earth, but it sounds like he wants to do nice things for them. Anyway, what my boss said to me, now throw complaint on the woodpile, you my comrade, my brother, whether you offer on the brazier, whether you bear down on life, as you say, love me here when you have set aside the West. But when it is wished that you attain the West, that your body joins the earth, I shall alight after you have become weary, and then we shall dwell together. Um,
That's the
throw
end.
now throw complaint on the woodpile. So it sounds like making a sacrifice, right? Burning it, putting it on a like a well, I don't know if they burned people. I guess they didn't. They put them in tombs always, but um so
Oh, sorry, I
what
thought you were
goes
talking human sacrifice. Like that's not part of the
no.
mythology I'm aware of.
No, no, not human sacrifice. But what do they? Yeah, what are they making sacrifices? Are they burning something in sacrifice? I don't know. But the complaint is the thing that's going to be burned and gotten rid of. Whether you offer, I think that this word "offer" is why I think of it as a sacrifice, right? To make an offering.
Yes, yes, on the
Um,
brazier.
and so it's a way. I mean, that I took this in our episode. I took this to be a way of talking about mourning, mourning, which is the opposite of like the grandiose fantasy that he has in section 4, right proceeding to. And in this case, you would tell this guy he's got to give up on expecting people to not suck, and he's got to give up on worrying about his reputation, and probably he's just catastrophizing that anyway. People don't hate him as much as he thinks they do. um, So you ultimately you're giving up on you're asking someone to mourn their ideal, what the thing that they think
Yeah.
everything needs to be like in order to stay alive. It's got to be perfect, or so I got to kill myself. No, just give up on those expectations. Bear down on life.
Did you get this off your chest? Are you happy? You've given these 4 poems. Okay, that's great. You've just those 4 poems. That is you've gotten it out of your system. You've made a literary sacrifice that can help other people attain some peace. That's just what we do. We complain together, and now we feel better about ourselves.
The bar is like a therapist.
Is that how you? I won't ask. That's how I will, as therapist, end our therapy
That's how
sessions.
I end
Like,
every session. Now stop. Okay, it's time to stop your complaining. Just bear down on life, buddy. Um, get to work.
and our time is up. So we'll see you next week. We saying to you, the audience,
That's
thanks
right.
for hanging out. This was fun doing a little more of this. Is it philosophy? I don't know. I mean, it's adjacent, but we had fun talking about it, and we'll do something else next time.
Bye.
Bye.